Hello and welcome to Finbar Builds Part 2. So we're looking over what we built last time. We built all the walls and these big sort of defense hubs. I lit both of them up, and in a minute we'll take a swing down to the gate to show how I changed it a bit. So I lit up all the lights because I forgot to turn them on last time, and I also sort of changed the structure. I put like a little sort of overlook hanging thing to sort of defend off enemies and just shoot from, basically. A little defense rail. So I changed the get up. I might add some more to that at some point. So now we're flying over to the cliff, and as you'll see, I flattened it out quite a bit and made the structure, or the sort of the frame, for the council we're going to be building today. So we're just flying through the frame now, and we're going up to the hole. Now the hole, I say, this is where the spire is going to be, and you'll see me building that right near the end, and it's pretty fucking awesome. So look, you can see the walls from here, and they look pretty awesome as it is. So let's get started building. So here we have me putting in lights, because I wanted like two big sort of columns of light at the front of the building to like make it stand out from the other side of the city completely. Plus it's quite high up as well, considering it's on like a hill face. So I decided to put those lights in. I was going to go them all the way to the ground, but as you saw, I built them up because it just looks better, like raised off the ground with like marble blocks in between. I use a lot of marble brick. The whole of this structure is pretty much white, but later on I go back to it and add some more colour to sort of change it up a bit so it's not so like flat. So at the moment it's pretty messy. I've sort of measured out where the middle is going to be, where the door is going to be, and I'm trying to like level out the sides so that they're equal on either side, because I wanted it to look perfect. So I'm just sort of measuring out roughly. I didn't really know what to do for the door frame, so it took me quite a while of messing around to get to do it. So I was using like the little blocks and see if I can make anything with them, but I think it's probably best if I use them for sort of furniture sort of stuff on the inside. So I got rid of them blue blocks. I didn't really think it worked, and I tried some sapphire paneling. I later removed that because I realised it looks hideous. It looks goddamn terrible. So now I'm adding lights and stuff again and building up, like, basically I wanted to break up the surface as much as possible because it is a large area, and you know, if you just have large areas of block, it looks dreadful. So you've got to try and break it up. So I'm measuring out gaps in here in between to put glass panels in, I think I do. And I decided to get rid of all that, as the sapphire looks terrible. And I wanted to use different lights at the front, so I light them up and realised they're the wrong colour, don't really look right, so I go back to using cyan, and I eventually just completely remove them because I don't think they look right. And now I'm putting like strip lights along the floor, and building some little flower pots out the front, just to sort of break up the front door a bit. So those strip lights get lit up in a while, and I'm also putting in pillars. Now I use quite a lot of pillars because they really do break up the wall a lot, and they make it look a lot better. So I'm just sort of messing around here. Again, this time when I started the build, I literally had no idea what I was going to do when I started. I just sort of went for it and just built up. So now I'm just under the ground, and you'll see the lights pop on. There you go. As I was fiddling around getting the wiring up, and that looks pretty good later on when the whole front's done. So you'll get to see that in a minute. So I'm just lighting that bit up now as well. There we go, lit up. And what am I doing now? I build up another like pylon, pillar as such. So I use a thinner one this time. And as you can see, just like by getting an overhang there and using the pillars, it breaks up the texture a lot. It makes it look a lot neater. And eventually I replaced them with black because it just looks better. It contrasts the white more, and it gives it more depth because you can actually sort of see. It's kind of hard to see the pillars at that angle, as you can see. So here I decided the lights, I only really want them in one direction. I tried that and it just didn't look right. And I've used panels here. So this again really helps with the depth. So as you see, the paneling sort of brings it back, but when you're on the inside it just looks like a flat surface. So it sort of adds to the contouring of the building. And here I'm using glass panels rather than glass panes, because glass panes can't actually be used with panel pieces, because the glass pane tries to go in the middle of the block and doesn't look right. So here I just put some glass panes in, panels even, and I think that looks pretty good. It breaks up again because they've actually got edging, whereas the standard glass panes, because I've got connected textures on, they just sort of become one massive sheet of glass, which is realistic. And now I'm putting big pillars on the outsides, again to break up the front even more. It looks really grandiose once it's done, and that was my aim. So they build up, and I'm just leveling out the top up here. And there we go, putting some more panels in. Now, for the side panels here, or the side windows, I didn't just want to paint glass, it looked bad. So I sort of used these panels again to mess around. and eventually, oh yeah, and that's the point where I realised the whole building was one to, like, the left hand side of the building was completely off by 1 block. So I had to delete all of it, well, break all the blocks and remove them, put them back in. And here I'm just like fiddling around, so I decided to use panels with that sort of triangular pattern. I think look good with glass in the gaps at the bottoms and top, and panels in the middle with just standard marble block. And I think it looks really good like that. So as you see, the texture's gradually building up, and it looks a lot better. The front it's not looking flat. It doesn't look at all flat. It looks like it's got a lot of depth to it, which was the point of doing all of the faffing around and taking quite long to the front. Now we bang into the inside, and you can see where the lights are like there, and I tried to cover them up. Well, actually no, firstly I tried to see if it's possible to get lights on the inside and like that, but there's no way to put the red alloy wire, and I didn't want the thing to be too far back. So I get rid of that, and I get some marble brick panel, and I panel that up over so it looks nice and flat, so it covers all up the wires so they don't like stick out. So yeah, and now I think I punch some skeletons because they're getting in the way. The mobs are really starting to get on my nerves now because I have to keep switching between creative mode and normal mode to get the right blocks, because for some reason the search thing doesn't work. So I'm just digging out all the foundations, and I'm going to fill them in with marble, just marble blocks. So the main point was to use marble, just standard marble blocks for the floor and marble bricks for the wall, because the marble brick, well, it looks like bricks, and flooring is generally in small squares panelled together. So that's what I did there. And now I think I start to build up the edge of the wall, and it looks quite cool because it's not a straight wall. It edges up gradually, and I put some lighting at the top of it so it's not too dark inside. So I'm just doing that now. I'm panelling up the edges, well, building the wall up. There we go, like that. So it matches the outside. So it's actually the whole shape of the building is like that, and I mimic it on the other side. Which I'm doing now, using the marble bricks. Just filling in the wall. And then I decide to put lighting on this tall bit to break it up, because otherwise it's just too flat. So I put lighting all the way up, and I love the cyan lighting. I think the reason I chose cyan, because the red was meant to like promote fear on the walls, like, you know, don't go outside, nothing should get in. Whereas the council is supposed to be like an emblem of hope, kind of sort of thing. So nice, bright, and you want to be able to see it from across the city. It's like sort of the light in the dark kind of thing. Kind of corny, but cyan really worked. It really worked really well, I think. So I used cyan throughout the entire build. I didn't use any other colour lamps because I didn't think any of them were suitable. This cyan just works so well with the white. So now here I'm mimicking the back wall to the front wall so it looks correct, but the actual back wall structure I designed totally differently. I just do it on a whim again, and so that it's not exactly the same. Having it duplicated on both sides I thought would look boring and predictable, so I'm doing that. And here I'm destruction cancelling out like the whole of the mountainside. God, it makes it so much easier. It's even faster than creative mode, just bashing out your fist, because you can get entire chunks at once. So I use that quite a lot, really useful, and now I'm like measuring this out again. It takes a long time to sort of measure stuff out, but it's really worth it, because if you mess it up like I did at the front, it literally takes 20-30 minutes to fix it, just because if you're 1 block out, so it's worth spending the extra time to measure it all up. So here I'm just sort of clearing out all the sides to make sure the building's got like a flat platform to look out onto the sort of uninfected area of the world. Also, someone suggested that I should get a texture pack, or create a texture pack with like mutant animals and stuff like that. I thought that was a pretty neat idea, actually. I fancy doing that, so I'm not entirely sure how. I might try and make one. If someone can make one for me with like mutated cows and sheep and stuff like that, and pigs, that would be pretty cool, because you know, that's what happens in Apocalypse. Everything gets mutated by the nukes. The testificus look mutated enough as they are, so they're fine. So I might spam a few of them around in the outside world later on, when I create like I don't know, I could create sort of like a sort of slummy fallout kind of area on the outside of the city, maybe later on in the series. So yeah, I've mimicked up the back to the front so far, but then the rest of it I change. And I hope you like this song that's coming on now. I sort of made the riff on my guitar, and then Rory mixed it on his computer using all his computer vision magic. And yeah, you see here, I'm using black, basalt, that's it. I'm using basalt posts, because I think the black contrasts the white really well, and it makes it look, it sticks out more. What I didn't realise was I've only just noticed this now. It's only the doorway is only 2 high. It should have been 3 high. But that's easily adjustable. Luckily, I've left myself enough space. And again, I'm using the panelling to sort of give it a different texture to the front, so it sort of curves inwards, so it's not just a flat thing. And the pillars help a lot as well. So I'm just building the top now, and I pull it down a bit just to sort of figure out where I was going to put stuff. There's quite a lot of the time you have to just double take, go back, so you see me just flying around a lot, looking back, looking at what I've done, and then going back to it. So you get a distance from afar, because it's a lot easier to tell when you've done something wrong from a distance, so you have to keep coming back to it. If you do everything close up and then you look back after an hour's worth of work and you go, oh crap, I've just missed that out completely, then it really does bug you up. So here, I'm putting glass panels in again, but only in a two wide section. So the back even is totally different to the front. So I've got those little slanted glass shaped windows at the bottom. And now some lighting, because I wanted all the lighting in the building to sort of be vertical. I didn't want to go across the grain, so I realised it didn't look good. So here I am just filling it in, lighting up. Tried to put some little extra pillars in, but it looked wrong, so I went back. And here you go. From the lower down angles, you see how much the contouring bricks really do affect how well the building looks. So if it was just a flat wall, it looked dreadful. But from here, it makes the building look really interesting. There's so much to look at. You don't even. That's what an old well, it's not an old, but a building should look like. If you've ever been to sort of a major city, there's always going to be a building that sort of really stands out, kind of like this one. And they're normally council buildings, well, not always, or often like massive businesses who've got just a massive office somewhere. So yeah, and now I'm putting in some extra windows. I really like the centre of this build. I don't know. I think the back may even be better than the front. I don't know. It just looks. The levels on it look good, I think. And here I'm building sort of a plinth, and you see the squids going absolutely mental in the water, like they're having a party, a rave, and they are when I fucking turn the lights on. Jesus. Oops, sorry, swearing. I swear too much. So I'm layering out sort of a plinth to look out on the uninfected area of the world, and I might put some sort of gardens and stuff down in that area later, because it's a perfect place to put some awesome hanging gardens and like footpaths, and like to make it so that only rich people are allowed in that part of the city. So it's sort of like, because it's all hidden in like mountains and stuff. So yeah, so the rich person's district is going to be over this side of the city where the council is, and the poor district is going to be in the other side of the city where the power plants and all the slummy stuff is. So here you see I've broken the pillars of white and replaced them with black, and later on I remove these again because they're too wide. So I'm just sort of seeing whether black and white will work, and it just looks bad, so I just delete that and just make it all one colour. So I'm using thinner poles at the top. I use posts there. I think it's, I can't remember the different names. There's a post, a pillar, I can't remember, but yeah, post and pillar are the ones I remember. They're the thickest and the second thing, so not the thinnest one is. So I'm using posts on the outside, because I thought the pillars were too chunky and they didn't work. So now I'm using marble brick to fill in the front, because I wanted the whole front to sort of be marble, or kind of like a gardeny kind of, I don't know, but I didn't want it to be grass and dirt. It didn't seem right in front of such a big grand building. And here I'm laying out or marking out where I should put certain pieces of like the garden things I'm going to be adding. I didn't add enough to the front of this, so it still looks kind of blank once it's done, but I'm going to add some more off camera, so that when we go back to it to do interiors and stuff later on in the series, it looks a lot different. So in a minute I'll lose a section of footage, so it sort of jumps to when all of the floor's kind of done, because it just glitched out, don't know why. So here I'm just sort of measuring what is to be a flower bed. So there we go, measuring it out and laying down some brick, and it'll jump. There we go, it glitches out a little bit, and we're back to here. So it's done, so you see the gaps where the flower beds are going to be, and I lay out a ton more marble, I think. Yep, there we go. Sort of lay out the whole front court of the sort of council. I needed to add some water fountains. That's the one thing I was missing, which I probably should have put in. So I'm putting grass, and grass is going to be a rarity in this city. Eventually everything is going to be covered by basalt and metallic things and stuff like that, so it's going to make a big difference. And also, as you can see on the camera, I forgot to go into like the peaceful mode or whatever it is where you don't see your toolbar. But that's fine. That changes back in a minute. I decided to put a tree in at the start. But I eventually get rid of that because it really sort of it ruins the texture. You can't see the building from afar anymore because the tree's in the way, and you can't even see the front door, which I think I worked kind of hard on to do that. So I get rid of the tree and just sort of leave a block of light in the middle. So I think that's, yep. I'm putting some marble around here now, and I'm putting more cyan lights. So like a strip of light. So it's going to be like this. All the lights are basically going vertically, be them on the floor or up the walls, so it just looks nicer like that. And I got rid of the tree, and I put a cyan light in the middle as well, so like that. Okay, and now we're building the tower. Now this turned out super cool once I did it. So the first thing was first I had to chip away all the stone where I'd measured it out and replace it with marble brick, because I wanted the inside to be marble. Considering the whole structure was marble, I didn't want to change back to stone, so I was just deleting all the blocks I didn't need and replacing it with marble. So there we go, I'm doing that now. And here I decided to create a little window at the back because there's like a big gap in the cliff, so I figured why not put a window in there, so it's sort of on the back half there's a window and the front half there's not. It like exploits the fact that I sort of built it through a cliff. It looks really cool that the fact I did that. So this massive spire tower, and I'm using basalt bricks and more lights. Now I wanted this to look sort of like a spine of light, if that kind of meant like a massive spinal looking tower. There is a tower in London. I can't remember what it's called, but it does. It's made of entirely glass, and it's like a spine of like a dinosaur. So that's kind of the thing I was going for there. So when the lights got quite high, and I was making basalt like blocks in between, sort of for the levels, because it breaks up the structure again. And I was using glass as like viewing points, because this is basically just going to be a viewing tower for the city, where only the elite can go, because it will have a view of the entire city. Once it's done, we'll definitely go up here on a walk around in the city and like have a look over the entire city, because it gives a good view. So here I'm just paneling up the insides where the lights are again, as you can see, and putting a floor in with basalt and different textures. So eventually you don't see any ladders or anything, because I'm going to use teleports to get around this area of the city at least, because they're rich enough to own them, but we need power for that. So I'm leaving them out for now, and I'll go back to it because we're going to get power next episode, because we're going to build a massive power plant, and that is going to be ridiculous, because it's actually going to be working. So I'm not just going to build the shell of it, I'm actually going to get everything inside to be fully functional and just extreme, like ultra complicated. I'm going to use every form of power possible, I think, as like that can actually fit. It's going to be a huge scale power plant. So yeah, and now I'm just building up the roof, and I kind of use pillars because it kind of makes like a pagoda type platform where you can sort of lean out, like the top of the New York building. So there we go, you can see the top of it now, and we're just like panning down into it. It looks so good at night. I think there's the brightness of the white and the cyan lights. So as you can see, that needs breaking up more, so I might add some fountains in the corners and some more trees on the edges maybe. So now we're just having a look in the inside, going down, and you see the texture of the walls. It looks really nice from ground level. Going in over the threshold, I forgot to cover up the pillars on the back, like the lights, so you can see the redstone or the red alloy, and there's some gravel there as well. And you can see because I'm digging out the roof a bit and some fell down, didn't notice that. So the back looks really good as well with that plinth where you can look out onto the rest of the thing, and the tower. Oh god, the tower just looks so good sticking out of the darkness. So there's the little window and the tower roaring out like that. It really does look like a spine with those extra basalt things, and those poles on the edges sort of break up the texture. So we do a little fly around, so you can see like the height of it. It just sticks up so high, and from that top viewing platform you're able to see pretty much everything in the city. So I think I did a really good job on this building. It looked as epic as I hoped, and as it pans back now, you'll see like how massive it is overall. It is pretty goddamn big in the side of that mountain. So you're going to see that from miles away. So yeah, thanks for watching today's episode. I should be doing one a week, and please like and favourite because it took me forever to make. So yeah, see ya.